All right, how hard is it going to be not to cry tomorrow?
Not to cry? Nah, it'll be fine. It'll be a good day tomorrow, yeah.
Right. You've obviously just playing here this 1 year, but how has the experience been for you? Has it been difficult to kind of jump right in and be part of the team?
Obviously, it's going to be difficult every time you face a new challenge, but I think I've overcome a lot of the stuff, and I really love my year at Marquette. It was challenging. It was what I was looking for, to improve as a player, but also as a person, and that's all I can ask for. So I'm leaving Marquette as a better person, better player as well, and that's what matters.
How's it been adjusting to the level of competition from Fordham to playing in the Big East?
Obviously, it's another step, but like I said, I came on Marquette to play in a bigger conference, to challenge myself against better players, better competition, and I think I've done a good job since the beginning of the year. I think I've improved as a player in that sense.
And what are you trying to accomplish now for the rest of the season? Now it's one more regular season and then the postseason.
Yeah, so I think the first challenge is to win tomorrow. Trying to leave my last game at the Fiserv with a win, and then after that we'll focus on the Big East and the March Madness. Yeah, but we'll take tomorrow day by day.
You said your parents are coming from Canada.
Yep.
How many games have they been to this year?
They came against Kansas State. That was my birthday. They're coming today. They're going to come next week in New York. They work, so it's pretty hard for them to just take a couple of days off of work to come here during the year, but that was fun.
Joseph, when you're coming to a new environment, a new team as a grad student, what were your expectations coming in versus maybe how they panned out?
I think my expectations were not as big as what I expected. No, that's not what I was going to say. Let's restart what I was trying to say.
We can edit it.
No, it's fine. But like my expectations weren't as high as what I've been through right now. Just the fact that I didn't think I would be as close as I am right now with my teammates. I really found brothers with that team. Never been as close with my coaches in all 3 years I was at Fordham. I've never improved as a basketball player as much as I did in the couple months I was here. And just off the court, everything I've learned about giving back to the community and just being a part of a winning culture, I think there's nothing I can ask more than that.
Basketball-wise, you guys have lost 3 straight games, had trouble closing out victories down the stretch. What do you think needs to improve to kind of fix those issues?
What needs to improve? Obviously, everyone talks about it. Turnovers. We got to take care of the ball. I think we just got to compete more as a team. But besides that, I think it's just a matter of time. I think every team in the NCAA goes through a rough patch, and we're just going to overcome it like every other team did it. And we're in a really good position right now, and we know what to do. Nothing's broken. There's nothing to fix. We just got to improve as a basketball team, yeah.
And coach, concerned that this is happening in March versus happening in maybe January for this team?
Not really. I mean, I prefer it to happen now than the Big East tournament or in the March Madness. It's better now than later because some teams realize it and it's too late. So we know what we need to work on as individuals, but also as a team. So it'll be fine tomorrow and next week and the coming weeks.
Coach Wojo mentioned after the last game that he thought you guys were pressing a little bit, and that kind of led to some bad decisions in the games. Do you feel that way?
I mean, when team pressure you, you got to stay poised, you got to stay calm, and we've been putting a lot of emphasis on not turning the ball over, and sometimes that can play against you. You can be so cautious about not turning it over that you actually does it. But we've worked on it, and we had a lot of meetings with the team, with the coaches, and we'll be fine moving forward. We don't have to worry about that.
How are you guys planning to use the energy of Fiserv and senior night to kind of propel your team tomorrow?
Yeah, obviously, every time we play at the Fiserv, the energy is just amazing. And also, I think with senior night, all those guys wants to win that game for all the 3 seniors. So we're going to do our best to finish on a good note, yeah.
What's impressed you most about Matt and Cam? Because I know those are 4-year guys in this program and what they've meant to this team.
I think first thing that comes up to my mind is how selfless they are. They've just shown me how to be a great teammate. I've never really been in the same position I was this year in terms of not playing as much as I was before. And I think the fact that I was looking up to Matt and Cam this year, that just helped me be a better teammate for all of them. And the way they come every day to practice and they prepare for the games just showed me another way that I've never seen before. Yeah.
Chartouny, I'll ask you, how hard is it going to be not to cry tomorrow?
Not that hard.
Man, I must be a girl because I just bawled at my senior
I don't
day.
know. It takes a lot for me to cry. So, and it's also before the game, so I feel like I'll be more focused on, like, winning the game and stuff like that than really just kind of getting all, like, sentimental and start, like, recapping all the memories and stuff.
I guess it's a little different, too, because with this team, it's not your last game ever. You guys are looking so far into the future and hoping to have great success in the postseason as well.
Yeah, we're leaving for New York on Tuesday for the Big East tournament. So, yeah, like you said, it's not like it's our last game. And, it's before the game. We have more things to focus on than our 3 seniors that are more important to our season.
How different is Matt Heldt now versus the one that showed up a couple of years ago here on campus?
A lot skinnier. I would say, like, wiser. I definitely learned a lot at Marquette on and off the court. So I think just, like, more prepared for, like, to go out into the real world and be an adult than I was at 18.
You and Cam are the 2 4-year players that are being honored Saturday. What about Cam? He's had to work behind the scenes. He doesn't get as much glory on the playing court as other people. What has he meant to the program, kind of running the scout team, doing all that kind of stuff?
I think a lot. Being a walk-on is really hard because you do all the things the players do. The hard conditioning in the off season, all that. You have to every few days you're learning new plays for a scout team, trying to emulate other players, and then you don't get to play, and you seldomly get recognition. So he's meant so much to us, and he's never complained or anything about the amount of recognition he gets for it. So I think it's really great. He's made it all 4 years, which isn't easy to do, and it's going to be great for him on senior night.
Does it mean anything extra special to you, just being a kid from Wisconsin and having this moment?
I don't know. I got like 30 family members who are going to be there, so I think just besides having a lot of my family there, I would imagine it'd be similar to anywhere else I would go.
We asked Joseph how hard was it for him to kind of jump right in as a grad transfer to play just 1 year, but he said you guys were all pretty welcoming him into the team. What's he kind of meant to the team?
It was a piece we really needed to get, and he's been, like you said, he jumped into our team, and he was a great fit right away. He was completely bought in from the start of it. He's another guy who's been through college basketball for quite a few years, so he's experienced. He gives us another voice of leadership, and it's been really helpful for our team's success.
How about this team right now? What's been going wrong for you guys? 3 straight losses, and how can you guys correct it?
I think it's just we went through a little slump. If you go through the top 25, besides Gonzaga, you're not going to find a team that hasn't just had a rough patch throughout the year. And for us, that happens to be towards the latter part of our season. But we got to stay together as a group, stay focused, not do anything differently than we've been doing all season because we have a winning formula, and then just get back to it.
Coach Wojo mentioned that your team might have been pressing a little bit the last couple of days. Did you feel that amongst your teammates?
I think it was. There's guys you can want it too much, almost where you can get out of character, not because of being selfish or being scared, but just because you want it so bad that kind of takes over. So I think a little bit of it is just like us getting back to how we've been for the majority of the season, which is like staying together, trusting each other, and wanting it just enough, but also knowing to just like stay calm and keep breathing, stay to the game plan.
I think you were thinking about maybe playing football in college, but do you remember the decision that you made to come to Marquette and be a walk-on?
Yeah, no, I do. I remember it was yesterday, actually, Coach came over to my house. I was kind of nervous. We had a really good interview, really good just sit down and talk to him and stuff. And, I was happy that he came over and shared with me some of the insights of Marquette basketball. And I really, once I heard about Marquette, and I already knew a lot about it, but once I heard from Coach, it was really an opportunity that I couldn't pass up.
Your family obviously has a lot of Marquette connections. Your grandfather, great-grandfather played here, your dad. How would you say your experience has kind of extended that Marotta family line at Marquette?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. When I used to talk to my grandpa, he was actually a walk-on here back in the day. And when I was younger, I used to make fun of him a little bit, like, you were just a walk-on on the team and all this stuff. And just see the position I am in now and understand, what it's like to be a walk-on and stuff like that. It's kind of cool to carry on that tradition and kind of be the next in line, I guess.
What are the emotions like for you?
It's emotional. A lot of my teammates are saying you're going to cry on Saturday and stuff, so I got to hold it in for sure. But my mom, as you know, she's probably already crying right now at work. So, it's going to be a fun day on Saturday. I'm just hoping we get a win too.
And, it's going to be emotional. Your father's not going to be here for this, but what do you think he would say about seeing you play in Marquette at 4 years and all that?
Yeah, I just hope that he would be happy. My grandpa's in town. He's from Pittsburgh, so he's going to be wearing the Letterman jacket tomorrow and stuff. And I was out at the house last night, and we were kind of talking about it. And, I just hope that he'd be happy and proud of where I'm at and all that good stuff. So.
How do you think you've kind of grown as a leader and as a person at Marquette the past 4 years?
I think I've grown a lot. Coming in as a freshman, I've said this before, you don't really know what to expect. And, I think you got to learn from the guys who are ahead of you. I had great walk-ons ahead of me like Michael Mackey. And, you learn your position, you learn your role, you learn what it's like to be a teammate. And, you learn what it's like to really put yourself in the line for your teammates and other people around you. So I think one of our goals as a walk-on is to make our other teammates better. And, we try to help everybody out on a day-to-day basis. So.
Yeah, a lot of walk-ons don't last 4 years just because all the work involved and you don't get a lot of the glory. But how have you kind of found that role and how have you been able to put in all that work?
Yeah, I've just tried to enjoy it, really. I mean, it is a lot of work and stuff, but I think once you fall in love with it and fall in love with the game and your teammates, I think it's easy to do. It's something I don't really look at as I got to come in, I got to lift, and, it sucks, and I got to see Todd every day. But I look at it as more like, I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy being around my teammates, and they make me a better person. So it's something I really love to do.
Cam, you don't get to play a ton, but when you do, the way that the crowd erupts and the way the teammates get excited, it's pretty evident. What has that meant to you, just to see the support they have for you after how much support you've given them?
Yeah, it means a lot to me, Growing up as a big Marquette fan and comes to these games, you see guys like Rob Rosina, and I remember what it was like to get up for him when he was getting in the game. And so when you hear the crowd kind of going crazy, coming in, everyone's telling you to shoot and stuff, it feels good.
You're definitely crying tomorrow, aren't you?
I got to hold it in.
I want you to cry. They ask me that. Crying, they're like, no, I'm a man. No, ball.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in that. I think men can cry, so we'll see.
You also had one of the signature moments of the season, hitting that 3-pointer. That was against Southern, right? What do you remember about that moment? And there was that great picture of you pointing up to the ceiling.
Yeah, I think I got lucky. I've never hit a step back in my life, so that was a little lucky. I said I was channeling my inner Marcus on that.
So, you've been through a lot of senior days in your time, but Matt and Cam are the first guys that you've had 4 years with as a head coach. So how emotional is that going to be for you as a self-described emotional guy?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be very emotional. Obviously Joseph, Matt, and Cam are very important parts of our program, and they've been fantastic teammates, all three of them, this year. But with Matt and Cam in particular, those guys have been with us since the beginning. And when I think of what Cam and Matt have added to our program, not just what they've done on the floor, but who they are as people in terms of helping us shape a culture and a positive one, they're as good as it gets.
And with Cam, do you remember going to his house and convincing him to become that preferred walk-on spot? Because I don't know if he was committed to going to Marquette, and did you know about his family history at Marquette and all that?
Well, Cam was a self-described football player. No, obviously I knew of Mark Marotta and his history at Marquette and how well loved he was in our community, and he had a son Cam who was a high school football player and basketball player who was trying to decide what he wanted to do next. And one of the first weeks on the job, I went over there and sat down with the entire family and just laid out to Cam what his role would be, because it's not for everyone.
Right.
It's hard. It's very challenging. And I knew he was going to be great. He's surpassed expectations. He's been just a terrific young man and representative of our program.
Yeah, a lot of walk-ons don't last 4 years because there's so much work involved and you don't get a lot of glory. But how's Cam kind of worked in that role?
Well, he's worked tremendously, and I think it's good always to lay up front what's going to be expected, and it is. You're going to be someone behind the scenes who adds to our team, whether it's on the court, off the court, learning to be a leader, and Cam has been all of those things for our program.
How have you seen Cam and Matt kind of grow as leaders and as people over the past 4 years?
Well, it's they came here and they'd probably be upset, but they were boys, and they're leaving as men, and so point A to point B in those two areas, it's a lot to learn. But those two guys are good men. They've been an asset to our community here, and not just our program, but the university, and they will be an asset to whatever community they impact next. So it's been an honor to coach them. I love those guys, and they're a huge part of the foundation that we've been able to build.
Coach, Matt was just talking about how these last couple of games you almost find yourself wanting it too much. How do you coach a locker room through that when we get into the most important part of the season right here?
Yeah, I do think our guys care deeply, and that's been a great strength of ours throughout the entire year, because there's a number of situations where teams could have folded and quit, and we didn't, and that was their resilience. But you can also care too much at times, and that can inhibit you. And so, but you don't know what you don't know. You have to go through these things to figure out, like, okay, that's not the way to approach it. This is what we need to do better, and how do we learn from every situation that we encounter as a team, whether it's quote unquote success or quote unquote failure.
And you mentioned your team pressing a little bit the last couple of games, and maybe the turnover issues have been a result of that. Do you need to mention that specifically to the team, and how do you adjust to fix that?
Well, look, our guys know we turn it over way too much, based on how we emphasize it, and then what they know we need to do to win basketball games. And so it's like trying to figure out where the turnovers are coming from, the things that we have to avoid, which are low percentage plays, and then playing in attack mode and free, where not every pass has to be a home run. Not every play where we're just going to have to grind it out over the course of 40 minutes, and we can't try to make 5 things happen in one possession, because that's not how it works.
Going back to Matt and Cam real quick, it seems like from watching you guys a lot of this season, maybe the loudest cheer at Fiserv this year, outside of maybe when Marcus goes off, is that 3 that Cam hit in that game where his whole team went crazy, and maybe when Matt checks into a game. What does that say about just the type of people they are and the respect they have from this fan base?
Well, Cam and Matt have ultimate respect from their teammates. One, because they've been so genuinely good as teammates. And so when you have somebody that, or 2 guys, in fact, that are in roles where they're not as on the court as much as others, but they do contribute so much to your program. When good things happen to them, if you can't be happy for them, then you got a real problem. And so, our guys love to see those guys do well because of how much they brought to the table for their teammates.
And we haven't talked about Joseph yet, but how hard is it as a grad transfer to come in and kind of incorporate yourself in within a team that's been together for a couple of years? And how do you think he's adjusted to that role?
Yeah, it's very difficult. The transferring and playing and knowing exactly what you're going to do, even when you have a year in a program before you're eligible to play, is hard, let alone being a graduate student and then stepping up a level in quality of competition. So I think it's been a challenge, and I think he would tell you the same thing. But Joseph's been a great addition. He's been a great teammate. His teammates love him, and he's added a lot to our program.
Going back to Cam, your experience as a player and then as a coach, and knowing the person or the kind of guy that fits that role. And so you sat down with him at the beginning. Are you even surprised that you got out of him what you got? And how difficult will it be to replace that?
With Cam?
Yeah.
Cam's been an incredible addition, and his contributions go unnoticed by the majority of people, but everybody that's around him on a day-to-day basis knows what he adds to our program. And, being a walk-on is tough, but being a walk-on who has a voice that other people listen to, it's very rare. And Cam has crossed that rare boundary where our guys listen to him, and it's not because he scores 25 in a game. It's because he's garnered respect over his actions for the last 4 years.